Society for Krishna Consciousness, founded by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. So, as part of the class, we traditionally sing this one bhajan, Jai Radha Madhava. So, please follow along. His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Untitled Bhagavad Gita ki. Jai Go Pranam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we will read one verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse number 3. So I will recite and then you can recite after me. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Lokesmin vividha nishtha.
Lokesmin vividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yogina.
Karma yogena yogina.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Lokesmin vividha nishtha.
Lokesmin vividha nishtha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Pura prokta maya nagha.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Jnana yogena sankhyanam.
Karma yogena yogina.
Karma yogena yogina.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O sinless Arjuna, I have already explained that there are two classes of men who try to realize the self. Some are inclined to understand it by empirical philosophical speculation, and others by devotional service. Purport. In the second chapter, verse 39, the Lord explained two kinds of procedures, namely Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga or Buddhi Yoga. In this verse, the Lord explains the same more clearly. Sankhya Yoga, or the analytical study of the nature of spirit and matter, is a subject matter for persons who are inclined to speculate and understand things by experimental knowledge and philosophy. The other class of men work in Krishna consciousness. The Lord has explained that by working by the principles of Buddhi Yoga or Krishna consciousness, one can be relieved from the bonds of action. And furthermore, there is no flaw in the process. The same principle is more clearly explained in the 61st verse, that this Buddhi Yoga is to depend entirely on the Supreme, or more specifically, on Krishna. And in this way, all the senses can be brought under control very easily. Therefore, both the yogas are interdependent as religion and philosophy. Religion without philosophy is sentiment, or sometimes fanaticism, while philosophy without religion is mental speculation. The ultimate goal is Krishna, because the philosophers who are also sincerely searching after the absolute truth come in the end to Krishna consciousness. This is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita. The whole process is to understand the real position of the self in relation to the super self. The indirect process is philosophical speculation, by which gradually one may come to the point of Krishna consciousness. And the other process is directly connecting everything with Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Of these two, the path of Krishna consciousness is better, because it does not depend on purifying the senses by a philosophical process. Krishna consciousness is itself the purifying process, and by the direct method of devotional service, it is simultaneously easy and sublime. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master, open my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, uses this word, sentiment. Does anyone recall the sentence, the very famous sentence that Prabhupada used in this purport?
Religion without philosophy is sentiment.
Religion without philosophy is sentiment, or sometimes fanaticism, while philosophy without religion is mental speculation. So what is this sentiment? What are these emotions, these feelings that we're talking about? What exactly is sentiment? What is feelings? What does the word sentiment mean to you? Natural? Attachment, yes, it's a good word. What does the word sentiment mean to anybody, generally speaking?
Unexplained beliefs.
Unexplained beliefs, yes, sure. Sentiment. Sentiment generally applies to something unexplainable, or like a belief, or maybe a feeling, or an emotion. Yeah? Yeah, it's an interesting word, is sentiment. It's kind of hard to really nail down the meaning. You know? What does it mean? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it natural? Is it unnatural? What is sentiment? What is sentimental? What is sentimentalism? What are emotions? What are feelings? We know we have them. We know they're there. In fact, that's what drives the whole world, isn't it? Feelings, emotions, sentiments. These are very powerful. They drive practically everything that we do, we believe in, we live for, we work for. We work hard, right? We work hard, as you can see, people go out and work really hard, and they're driven by some motivation. Maybe while they're working, they don't seem very emotional or sentimental, but there is some inner drive that is driven by another sentiment, maybe a feeling towards somebody else, maybe their family members. Like you see this lady is cooking with so much love, she's going to make a big amount of something, maybe she has a family or some friends, she's having a program or something, and these men are working very hard. This family is there, very happy. That's a happy sentiment, happy emotion. We celebrate joyfully, or sometimes we're going through some very trauma. That's also a sentiment, that's also a feeling. Sometimes we have feeling for a family, or feeling for our country. Like this soldier is definitely feeling moved by something, you can see. And, or, our grandchildren, or our grandparents, and so on. There's so much powerful emotion that we invest, we can't even explain, like Omprabhu was saying. It's an unexplainable thing sometimes. Why I feel such a strong feeling. Feelings are very, very important in our life. Emotions are integral to our very existence. In fact, if we don't have any emotions, then that's a symptom of a dead body. Dead body, So, the heart has to be beating. That's one of the vital signs. Emotion is a vital sign, actually, But sometimes our sentiments and feelings are attached to maybe not something happening, but something happened before, like our memories, like maybe when we were children, or maybe something, so we look through photographs and albums. Although these days people don't really get these sort of albums, you just look at digital photographs. Go on Facebook and you get reminders. Nowadays we need to be reminded also 7 years ago what I was doing. But and when they pop up, they evoke an emotion. Sometimes they evoke tears even. I can't believe I used to be so skinny 7 years ago. And I start crying. Right? Or something we're going through right now. There's a lot of stress and I just can't handle it. So this lady is obviously going through something. Maybe she's praying, or so there's some emotion flowing there for sure. Or something in the future. We anticipate that, yes, I'll get a big car, a big house, bank balance, or I worry about these things, or maybe about our children, what's going to happen to them. So either we worry, or we stress out, or we get excited about. So we have sentiments invested in the past and in the present and in the future. Sometimes we get very like once in a lifetime kind of events, which are very exciting. You can see like right over here, there's a bunch of people in this colorful picture. So there's two people on the side, right? So they're pretty happy. Like this lady down here, she's like, I think she's happy that she got her sunglasses because it's so bright that day. And then that's the father of the bride, I think, back there. He's really happy for some reason. And like, you know, generally they're supposed to cry when, you know, when the daughter is, anyway. And even the daughter is supposed to cry, but she's really happy. I think this guy on the side, he looks like maybe the Pandit, he got a good dakshina, he's really happy. Only guy doesn't seem so happy is this fellow over here. I mean, kind of hard to tell what he's going through, the groom. But anyway, so these are different emotions right in one picture. And we don't know what, you know. So, emotions, these are associated with our memories, or with what's going on right now. They're strongly bonded to our anticipations, our expectations, our worries, and our fears. Sentiments, feelings, emotions. Now, some of us are more emotional than others. You know, we all have that one friend, you know, who gets emotional at every small matter, like this person here. You know, you can see maybe he's watching a movie, sad movie or something, and he's just like, oh, right? And sometimes someone will tell us, oh, you are just too emotional or too senti. Senti is just short for sentimental. That's the Indian word. Okay. Which means our emotions are making us do things that are irrational or maybe detrimental to ourselves. You know, if we do something on emotional basis but not based on what's logical or rational, then they say you're too sentimental or too emotional. It's not good for you. And then what do we respond? You are a stone-hearted robot. You don't have any feelings. After all, I'm human. It seems like you have no heart. How can you say I'm too emotional? I'm going through, you know, some crisis over here. We don't know what that crisis is. You know, you're not me. So, you know, this emotion, some of us are more than others. And some people are good at hiding their inner emotions. So they end up being very more stoic or solid looking from the outside. But it's a whole spectrum of emotionality, what's visible on the outside and so on. Feelings. Our relationships can be made or broken based on how someone makes us feel. A lot of the times, we may not remember what somebody said to us a long time ago. We may not remember what they did to us, what they did for us. But we very rarely forget how that person made us feel. When you see that person again, oh, that person made me feel so good. You know, you get your heart starts jumping. You don't remember what it was, the details, but that feeling is very deep. So our relationships are actually based a lot on feelings. And sometimes it's hard to reconcile relationships based on logic, because that's not what the relationship is held together on. It's based on feelings. So it's important. Feelings are important. They're important to our existence, our consciousness, and our relationships. So where are we going with this in the philosophical discussion? Let's go back to the word sentimental. Because sentimental is almost never used in a positive way. The word sentimental. Emotions and feelings can be both positive and negative, but sentimental specifically, what does it mean? So this is from vocabulary.com. Sentimental describes a person who relies on emotions more than reason. Derived from the Latin verb sentire, to feel. Sentimental always implies that the emotions are involved a little too much for your own good, for the situation. If you do something for sentimental reasons, you are only doing it because of an emotional attachment. There's an Irish poet and playwright by the name of Oscar Wilde. He looks like that. Looks a little wild. He describes this word very nicely. He says, a sentimentalist is one who desires to have the luxury of an emotion without paying for it. Very interesting concept, that emotions are a luxury. You can't just jump to an emotion without paying the dues for it. And if you try to do that, that emotion will be hollow. It'll be meaningless, it'll be confusing, it'll confuse your own heart. It actually causes damage. That is called sentimentalism. Emotions are not the problem. The problem is Yes, not paying the price. If you pay the price, then it's positive emotion. What is this price that we're talking about? It's another definition. Let's see. James Joyce, another novelist, says sentimentalism is unearned emotion. You have to earn it. So you jump into an emotion that you don't deserve. Interesting concept. That there is a moral concept or moral liability associated with emotions that we enjoy. Because emotions, like you said, luxury, you indulge in them. Right? So Srila Prabhupada explains this word in various different ways as well. But you can see in the context. Alright? Let's see if we can figure out the point. So devotees of Krishna are known as Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas are by far the greatest philosophers in the world. And the greatest among them was Srila Jiva Goswami. Therefore, one must know very well that Vaishnavas are not sentimentalists or cheap devotees like the Sahajiyas. The Sahajiya is a new word, we'll discuss that. What is a Sahajiya? Cheap devotees. Cheap devotees. What does that even mean? All Vaishnava Acharyas were vastly learned scholars who understood Vedanta philosophy fully. This is from the purport of this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada explains. Vaishnavas are not sentimentalists. They're not like these Sahajiyas. What is a Sahajiya? Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is the guru of Srila Prabhupada, he comments, and listen carefully, persons who are actually very poor because they possess not even a drop of love of Godhead or pure devotional service, falsely advertise themselves as great devotees, although they cannot at any time relish the transcendental bliss of devotional service. A class of so-called devotees known as Prakrita Sahajiyas, that's the word, Sahajiya. Sahaj means someone takes it very easily or cheaply. Sahaj, Sahajiya. Sometimes display devotional symptoms to exhibit their good fortune. They are pretending, however, because these devotional features are only external. Prakrita Sahajiyas exhibit these symptoms to advertise their so-called advancement in love of Krishna. But instead of praising the Prakrita Sahajiyas for the symptoms of transcendental ecstasy, pure devotees do not like to even associate with them. It is not advisable to equate the Prakrita Sahajiyas with pure devotees. When one is actually advanced in ecstatic love of Krishna, he does not try to advertise himself. Instead, he endeavors more and more to render service to the Lord. Right? So then the question may be asked, is there a place for emotions in Krishna consciousness? If emotions are for the Sahajiyas, then what about those who are pure devotees, or those who are, say, sincere devotees, who are trying to be genuine, not pretenders? Is there room for emotion, emotionality, feelings in Krishna consciousness? Because in Krishna consciousness, when we start, we practice what kind of bhakti? Sadhana bhakti, right? Sadhana, Vaidhi bhakti, sadhana bhakti. Sadhana, right? So, does everybody know the definition of sadhana bhakti? Is a technical definition from Nectar of Devotion.
That which gives
yes. Who was quoting that verse? Yes, I want to hear that verse. Yeah, that's the one. Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya bhava sa sadhana vidha. You can see the word sadhya, sadhana. It's very repetitive. Nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridi sadhyata. This is a definition of sadhana bhakti. This is bhakti that we do every day, here and at home. The chanting of Hare Krishna, bowing down, the offering of, we do so many things, we read, we study. So sadhana bhakti. But what is the point of it? Translation says, when transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained is executed by the senses, it is called sadhana bhakti, or regulated discharge of devotional service. Such devotion eternally exists within the heart of every living entity. So, that activity by which, what is the word here? Bhava. That activity by which bhava is awoken in the heart. Bhava refers to the feelings actually. Right? General understanding of the word bhava means a loving, affectionate feeling. It is not fake, it is genuine. When the mother has love for the child, it is bhava. These are all bhava. Right? So various flavors of love are there. But when it's pure and directed to Krishna, then it's called bhava bhakti. So sadhana bhakti, the aim of it is to reach bhava. The bhava means feelings. So not only is there a place for feelings, there is a very goal of our bhakti process, is to evoke genuine, pure feelings, which are sincere. Bhava bhakti. And when one reaches bhava, what are the symptoms of bhava? This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated these symptoms. Right? Bhava stage is manifested by 8 transcendental symptoms. Right? Ashta, Satviki. Right? These are the symptoms of transcendence, of bhava. Inertness, perspiration, standing of hairs on end. Have you seen that? Standing of hairs on end? Like, it won't work for me, but maybe for you. Like, you know, your hair stands up on end, right? Failing in the voice chokes up. You know, we see that. You don't even need to be, you know, it doesn't have to be even directed to Krishna. This choking up of the voice, we've seen it when someone is just so overcome with emotion, and the tears, they flood the throat, yeah? And then there is a trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance. Trance means just like fully absorbed and almost looks like there's no emotion, but it's a strong flow of emotion within. That's called trance. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose appearance we're going to celebrate in just a couple of days, he came to not only demonstrate this, but to show that this level of intense love and feeling is meant for us, not just for him. It's meant for all of us to try to awaken, to uncover. Right? So between now and Gaura Purnima, we can plan to do that. We can plan to purify ourselves, that we can become qualified to advance on this process. Right? So, if someone is crying in front of Krishna, does that mean that they have reached level of Bhava Bhakti? And this guy is crying. Tears are not coming, so he's kind of, you know, supplementing it a bit. You know, does it mean that someone is crying in front of Krishna that they reach Bhava Bhakti? No. Not necessarily, right? Not necessarily. What if they're real tears, like this kid? Oh, Krishna. And these are real tears coming out. He's crying. He knows Krishna is God. Somehow, you know, his parents told him Krishna is God. So he's crying. What's he crying for? He's feeling pain in his heart. It's real tears, but something is it worth crying about what he's crying for? Right? Oh, Krishna, I lost again in Super Mario Brothers. You know, I mean, for that age, you know, it means a lot. Anybody know what is Super Mario Brothers? When I was a kid, I used to play it in like 1985 or something when it came out. It's a Nintendo little game, you know. I was just like 10 years old, and this little character, his name is Mario, and he has a brother, Luigi, and they run across the screen, and then they jump, and then get coins, and then they have to, like, you know, kill little turtles, and then go and save the princess, who's apparently a mushroom. So it's really funny. But, you know, you score points and things like that, and then if you lose to your brother, it's the end of the world, you know. So, is this worth crying for, is the point? Is it substantial? That's the question to ask. So what are things that are worth making emotional pleas to Krishna for? That you pray to Krishna. Is it good to make an emotional plea or tears in front of Krishna for these things? Let's see. So just say yes or no if you think it's a yes or no, right? You're getting more M&Ms than my brother. No, not good. I mean, you know, sometimes my brother got 2 more M&Ms than me. That's not right. And that's not worth crying for, really, right? What about getting invited to my college friend's movie party? Not really, not so much. What about becoming more sincere in Krishna consciousness? Yes, that's a very clear thing that it's not selfish, it's selfless. I want to be more sincere, I want to understand you, Krishna, I want to get better, I want to do things that you will prefer me to do, and so on, right? So, and if I'm having difficulty, we cry in front of Krishna, and that is well worth crying for, because it strengthens our resolve. What about having multiple Ferrari cars? No. Ferrari. Ajab Ekadashi. So Ekadashi only you a Ferrari car. No, it's a fun. Ferrari means the falahari actually in Gujarati. Falahari means like you don't eat anything with grains and beans. You only eat phal, like fruits and that sort of thing. So like today is Ekadashi, and we break our fast tomorrow. What is the breaking fast time? 7:04. Okay, so we missed the announcement today. I mean, it was on the screen, but we didn't announce it. So I'm going to announce it. Yeah? Okay. You did, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. Because I missed it. It's important to break your fast, okay? I'm telling you, like when you do Ekadashi, to do Ekadashi, you must avoid certain foods. If you eat them, that's not good. That means you've broken Ekadashi. But if you don't break your fast the next day also, that's also breaking Ekadashi. Like if you fast the next day also, Dwadashi, you should break your fast. There's a reason for that too. It's a technical reason. But yeah, I mean, you get a side. This Ferrari cars is not. Okay. I mean, my boss who I work for, in our company, the CEO, he has multiple of these, Sometimes he parks it next to mine. And it looks like so much smaller than my car. But it's a $7 million car. I'm not kidding you. I looked it up. He has like this special edition. He has like 4 of them. It's incredible. But it's not worth crying to Krishna. It's a big waste of money anyway. Getting free from a troublesome disease. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, see some no's, there's some yes. Anybody? This is a tough one. Because what is my motivation? It's actually not, Krishna, I'm suffering from disease, my nose is falling off my face. I mean, it's terrible, leprosy, whatever I have. Please, I want to serve you more. What is my motivation, What about making more money at my job? I'm barely making ends meet. Krishna, please, I'm having a tough time. Fall into one of the 4 categories, right? Who are the 4 categories of who approach Krishna? Artha, Artharthi, Jigyasu, Jnani cha. So, Artha means miserable, who's having some misery like say disease. Artharthi means I want more money. Jigyasu, I'm curious to know what's going on. And Jnani, that I know who Krishna is and I'm approaching him, right? Getting more respect and honor among my friends. But it hurts when you don't get it, right? Isn't it? Especially if we have been honored and then all of a sudden nobody wants to talk to you anymore. It's particularly hurtful then, All of a sudden, hey, why are you not talking to me anymore? It hurts, but is it worth asking Krishna for this or no? Yeah, because Krishna says, Tatha manapamanayo, that one who does not really care about these things, who honors me, mana apamana, they're the same. What about my own health? That's kind of related to the, right?
Yeah.
My grandfather's health. Is it worth crying to Krishna for grandfather's health? Especially having a hard time? So it's a yes, no, I'm hearing yeses and no's. That means the point is there's no wrong answer, right answer here. The point is that these are not clear all the time. They need more context to these things. There's no absolute. Okay, this is why we do this little exercise. Alright? And proper understanding to serve Krishna better? Definitely. Right? So what makes spiritual emotions genuine? It is the purity of motivation. What am I motivated by? Why am I crying for this? But what makes motivation pure? How do I know what is the right motivation to have? A pig is also crying, but it's crying for stool. Give me stool. That's not worth it. So we are all crying for wealth is the same kind of thing. The motivation to make it pure, you require knowledge to understand what is worth crying about. And not just technical knowledge, but spiritual knowledge. So what does spiritual knowledge consist of? Our identity. Who am I? Right? Who am I? Our relationship with Krishna. What is our relationship with Krishna? Who am I? I am an eternal spirit soul. And what is my relationship with Krishna? I am an eternal part and parcel and servant of Krishna. Right? What about the world around us? We should know what is this world that we are in. What is our relationship with the world? Who we are, What is our relationship with Krishna? What is our relationship with the material world? What is our relationship with others, the other souls that are around me? And what to do and how to act. These all consist of spiritual knowledge. Mahaprabhu says, Siddhanta boliya chitte na karo alash, iha hoite Krishna lage shuddrina manash. That a sincere student should not neglect the discussions of Siddhanta, this philosophy. For such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus one's mind becomes attached to Sri Krishna. And the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, false devotees lacking the conclusion of transcendental knowledge think that artificially shedding tears will deliver them. Similarly, other false devotees think that studying books of the previous acharyas is unadvisable, like studying dry empiric philosophies. We hear that. What's the use of reading so much? Don't read so much. Main thing is the feeling. This is not what Prabhupada is teaching. He calls them what? False devotees who have very little knowledge of such conclusions fail to achieve pure devotion. Why? For want of zeal in accepting the favorable directions for devotional service given by self-realized devotees. Such false devotees are like impersonalists who also consider devotional service no better than ordinary fruitive actions. They may have a lot of emotion, they may be doing even a lot of external service, but if the understanding isn't deep enough, then they may mistake that particular service for something karmic, for fruitive action. One of the 10 offenses is what? To consider chanting of Hare Krishna to be one of the auspicious ritualistic karma kanda. Some people actually think that. Even they've been chanting a couple of years, they think when I chant Hare Krishna, I will get good wife, or my bad wife will go away, whatever. They'll think, they'll think something material. That is not the goal of this chanting process. Okay, I don't have full knowledge. Are my emotions simply sentiments? That's a question. That's a good question to ask. You are talking about this Siddhanta. I can't even pronounce the word Siddhanta. But I have feelings. Are those feelings valid? It's a good question. See, Krishna is all attractive. And many people will feel an immediate attraction to him. He is beautiful. And our original deep-rooted love also jumps out and the soul becomes happy when we see him, even for the first time in the temple. So it's not invalid, it's definitely valid. There's a root there. But due to our material conditioning, our true knowledge is covered. So we need to realign with proper training, proper understanding, proper knowledge. Krishna is also known as Bhavagrahi. Anybody know that verse? It's from Chaitanya Bhagavat. The first word is Murkha. Murkha. Murkho vadati Vishnaya Dhiro vadati Vishnave Ubayostu samam punyam Bhavagrahi Janardana. That the fool will say Vishnaya. Fool means you don't know Sanskrit. You're supposed to say Vishnave. Om Vishnave Namah, not Vishnaya. Right? Maybe Krishna is a Krishnaya, but Vishnu, you say Vishnave, not Vishnaya. But he doesn't know, so he says Vishnaya. But Krishna, he gives them the same credit because he is Bhavagrahi, he is the Bhava. So there's something definitely there, there's some sincere, So, relationship of pure devotees with the Lord develops because of devotional service to the Lord on the authentic basis of Vedic authorities. Such pure devotees are not mundane sentimentalists, but are factually realists because their activities are supported by Vedic authorities who have given oral reception to the facts mentioned in Vedic literature. I'll skip the rest of it. So what is the proper way to cultivate pure love? Proper way. Say we want to cultivate feelings. What are some of the reachable feelings that we can reach? We can't jump to love, but we can appreciate. Right? We can appreciate Krishna. We can glorify Krishna together. We can express our gratitude to him. Thank you, my Lord. These are genuine feelings we can easily reach. We can celebrate the Lord. We can even express remorse. Remorse is very powerful. What is remorse? Remorse is like, I'm sorry, my Lord, I wasted my time, wasted my life. I should have started earlier. I'm sorry that even now when I tried, I can't give my full energy. Look at my misfortune. Hari Hari Bifale, Janama Gomayu. Manusha Janama Paya, Radha Krishna na Bhajiya. Right? So these feelings we can cultivate by following in the footsteps of these great acharyas who wrote bhajans like this. They wrote appreciation bhajans, remorse, gratitude. So Narottam Das Thakur, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our own Srila Prabhupada. They give us all this amazing wealth. And it's full of emotions. These bhajans can be easily memorized. We sing them in our gatherings every Friday. There's so many Bhakti Vrikshas going on. So we gather and we sing them over there. It's really sweet. So Songs of Vaishnava Acharyas, get the book and drown in this love. Okay, I'm going to skip this part. But what about, how do you know someone is genuinely have bhav? Because you can't tell, right? Someone is very good at pretending. There are other symptoms that you cannot pretend. What are those? Cessation of material desires. The person doesn't have material desires. Shanti. Utilization every moment in serving Krishna. Don't waste time. Eagerness to glorify the Lord all the time. Attraction for living in the holy places, like near a temple or in a temple, or living in the holy dham. Complete detachment from material happiness, the pleasures, virakti. And pridelessness, manashunyata. These are genuine symptoms that cannot be duplicated or faked. You can't fake manya shunyata, right? You can't fake any of these. These are symptoms of bhava. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee. The whole process can be summarized as follows. The advanced devotee who chants the holy name of the Lord in a perfectly offenseless manner and is friendly to everyone can actually relish the transcendental taste of glorifying the Lord. And the result of such realization is cessation of material desires, etc. So this is in the purport Srimad Bhagavatam verse. So, how do we practice this Krishna consciousness? We chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can do it in a group, Sankirtan, like this picture here. And we can also do this japa. Those who are devotees who are initiated, they practice daily japa as well. And if you're interested, you may sign up for doing this. We have the Shiksha program. You can sign up for doing one round every day, and you get a certificate that was announced earlier. If you're interested, please see Srinivas Rajan Prabhu. You can sign up for that. Then you offer our pure vegetarian food to Krishna before we eat. And then you come to the temple, bow down to the deities. ISKCON Nitai Ki. And then another practice. Hearing and reading. What did Mahaprabhu say? Don't be lazy. Hear and read. Right? Come to the temple regularly. And just remember this one reality. That Krishna is a well-wishing friend. He wants us more than we do. So that makes it very encouraging. He's always there to help us. Right? So thank you very much for listening. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna. A little bit over. I mean, we ended on time, but didn't leave much time for questions. Maybe a minute or two for questions. Anyone have any questions or comments? Yes?
Do you think it's a sincere thing to ask for peace?
Yes, so the question is it a sincere or valid thing to ask for peace? Yes, actually, that's a good question. Krishna actually gives a formula in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that unless one's intelligence is connected with me, that unless one's focus, consciousness is connected with me, one cannot attain peace. Right? What is that word? I forgot the word. No. The intelligence. Ashantasya kuta sukham, that's how it ends, you know. Anyway, so in the end of that verse he says, without peace there is no happiness. Ashantasya kuta sukham. So he says that yes, we want to be happy, so you want peace. So we should pray for peace. But Krishna says you don't pray for peace, you connect your consciousness to me, and peace is an automatic byproduct for that. The point is that peace cannot be had independent of Krishna consciousness. It is not a separate product. It is a byproduct of Krishna consciousness. And Krishna consciousness platform is the only thing that can offer you peace. Anything else is piece of junk, basically. With Krishna, it's peace of mind. Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna.